When the lights are off, when the crowd is gone, when the camera stops clicking, that's when the real work begins. People think greatness is built in stadiums, under bright lights, with millions watching. But the truth, greatness is built in silence, when nobody is there to clap, when nobody is there to witness. You see, talent alone doesn't make you unstoppable. Motivation alone doesn't keep you going. Motivation comes and goes. It's like the wind. But discipline is the foundation of a champion. When others are sleeping, you train. When others say enough, you say one more. That extra session, that extra sprint, that extra push, done in silence, is what creates a difference. So loud the world can't ignore it. I remember growing up with nothing, just a ball and a dream. People laughed. People doubted. People told me I wasn't strong enough, fast enough, good enough. And you know what? They were right at first. But while they were talking, I was working. Every insult became my fuel. Every you can't became a reason to show that I can. Pain was my teacher. And instead of running from it, I embraced it. Success demanded sacrifice. While others went to parties, I chose recovery. While others enjoyed the easy road, I chose the hard one. No alcohol, no excuses, no distractions. Sacrifice is invisible, but it shows up when the whistle blows, when the body doesn't give up, when the legs still run in the 90th minute. People see the goals, the trophies, the celebrations. They don't see the sacrifices behind them. And here's the secret. Before a single trophy was lifted, I had already lifted it in my mind. Before scoring in front of millions, I had already scored 1,000 times in silence. Visualization, seeing victory before it happens, turns pressure into certainty. When the big moments come, they don't feel like surprises, they feel like destiny. So ask yourself today, what do you do when nobody's watching? Because that's where champions are born. That's where the difference is made. Don't work for applause, don't work for followers, work for the standard you set for yourself. When nobody's watching, build yourself in silence. And when the world finally sees you, they'll call it greatness. But you'll know it was discipline, sacrifice, and vision all along. Motivation is a spark, but discipline is the fire that never dies. Think about it. Motivation is like a guest that visits you whenever it wants. Sometimes it shows up early in the morning when you wake up feeling unstoppable. Sometimes it comes right after a win when your world is cheering for you. But what about the days when you're tired? The days when your body aches? The days when no one is clapping, no one is calling your name, and you feel like giving in? That is when motivation vanishes. And that is why I never built my life on motivation. I built it on discipline. Discipline is the promise you make to yourself and never break. It's the quiet agreement that no matter how you feel, you will show up, you will put in the work, and you will push yourself further than yesterday. When I was a kid with nothing but a ball at my feet, there were days when motivation was nowhere to be found. Imagine being young, away from your family, chasing the dream that seemed impossible. Most people would have given up. But I told myself, it doesn't matter how I feel today. I must train. I must improve. That was discipline speaking. It wasn't about waiting for the right mood. It wasn't about waiting for applause. It wasn't about waiting until I felt inspired. Discipline was there every single day, like a shadow, never leaving me. Let me give you an example. After a tough match, when the body screams for rest, most players go home, take a shower and sleep. That's normal, right? But normal never creates greatness. So instead, I choose to stay behind. I head to the gym, I work on recovery, I push myself through one more round of training. Why? Because I understand something. Motivation would tell me, you've already done enough, you played 90 minutes, you can relax. Discipline tells me, no, you're not done until you've done what others want. And that is the difference. Motivation lets you settle, discipline forces you to rise. There's a story I remember clearly. One night, after an exhausting game, I came back to the training ground instead of going home. The cleaners were shocked to see me. They asked, why are you here? Don't you ever rest? And I told them, I will rest when my body gives up, but as long as I can move, I must walk. That moment isn't on television, it isn't in the newspapers, but that's exactly where the victories are created. In silence, when nobody sees, when only discipline keeps you moving forward. And discipline also means saying no to things that everyone else says yes to. Friends call you to go out late at night. Temptation tells you to relax, to enjoy yourself. Discipline says, no, sleep is more important. Others eat what they want, drink what they want, live without control. Discipline tells you every meal, every drink, every choice is part of the bigger picture. And let me tell you something. It is never easy. There were countless times I wanted to break the rules I set for myself. But I reminded myself of this. Every small choice builds the man I am becoming. If I choose comfort today, I am stealing from my future. If I choose discipline today, I am investing in my greatness. The truth is, most people wait for motivation before they act. They say, when I feel like it, I'll do it. That's why they never reach the highest level. Champions don't wait to feel like it. They do it whether they feel like it or not. You think I always feel like training? You think I always feel like running until my legs burn or eating clean when I'd rather enjoy something else? No, but I don't ask myself if I feel like it. I ask myself if it needs to be done. And if the answer is yes, then I do it. That's discipline. One of the most powerful lessons I've learned is this. Motivation is for everyone, but discipline is for the few. Anyone can feel motivated when things are going well. Anyone can push themselves for a day, a week, maybe a month. But who keeps going year after year, through pain, through tricks, through doubts? That's discipline. And that's why when people ask me about the secret of my success, I don't talk about motivation. I talk about the mornings when I woke up tired, but trained anyway. I talk about the nights when everyone slept, but I was still working. I talk about the sacrifices nobody clapped for, the choices nobody saw, the endless hours of repetition when it was just me and the ball. And let me share this with you. Discipline is not punishment. People think discipline means suffering, but it doesn't. Discipline is freedom, because when you live with discipline, you don't depend on feelings, you don't depend on chance, you don't depend on luck. You control your path. You create your own destiny. Discipline gives you the power to become who you are meant to be, not who the world expected you to be. So if you want to achieve greatness, don't chase motivation. Motivation will leave you the moment life gets hard. Instead, build discipline, build routines you don't break. Train when you're tired. Eat clean when you crave junk. Sleep early when the world is out, partying. Push yourself when nobody is watching. One day, when the lights are on and the world is watching, you will perform as if it was effortless. But only you will know the truth that effort was built in silence, powered not by motivation, but by unshakable discipline. Pain is something everyone tries to avoid. People run from it, hide from it, and wish it never came. But the truth is, pain is the greatest teacher in life. Pain has a way of showing you who you really are, of revealing how much you truly want something. Most people let pain break them, but champions use pain as fuel. Every outlet, every setback, every failure, every sleepless night, it all becomes energy to keep moving forward. That's the difference between those who quit and those who rise. When I was a young boy chasing a dream that seemed too big for the world I was born into, pain was my constant companion. I grew up with nothing. My family didn't have money, and life was far from easy. There were nights when I cried myself to sleep, not because I was weak, but because the weight of reality felt too heavy for my young shoulders. Kids around me had better opportunities, better conditions, better resources. And me, I just had a ball, a burning desire, and endless pain to remind me of how far I was from where I wanted to be. But instead of letting that pain crush me, I turned it into fire. Every time life hurt, I told myself, good, this is fuel. This is what's gonna make me different. I'll never forget the times when people laughed at me, told me I was too skinny, too weak, not talented enough. Do you know how it feels when the world doesn't believe in you? It hurts. It cuts deep. But instead of arguing back, instead of wasting my energy trying to convince them, I went to work in silence. Their words became my training partner. Every insult pushed me to run harder, train longer, lift heavier. and fight more fiercely. I took that doubt and turned it into drive. So when you see me score, when you see me win, know this: that moment is built from years of swallowing pain and spitting it back out as power. Pain has another gift. It teaches you resilience. There were moments in my career when I faced injuries, setbacks, and defeats that felt unbearable. Losing hurts, failing hurts, being told you're not good enough hurts. But the more pain I felt, the stronger I became. Each setback was a test. Will you let this stop you, or will you use this to rise higher? And every time I chose to rise. That's the mindset. Champions don't run from pain, they embrace it because they know pain sharpens the mind and strengthens the soul. Here's the truth: pain doesn't discriminate. It comes for everyone. The rich, the poor, the talented, the ordinary. What separates us is how we use it. Most people complain, cry, and give up when it gets hard. But the few, the ones who rise to the top, they say, thank you for this pain. Watch what I do with it. There is a difference. Pain can either be a prison that keeps you locked up or a key that unlocks your potential. There's a moment I remember it clearly. I was young, far from home, training alone in freezing conditions. My legs hurt, my chest burned, and every part of me wanted to stop. I thought about quitting, about going back to comfort, about choosing an easier path. But then I remembered the sacrifices my family made, the people who doubted me, the dream I carried. I told myself, if this hurts, it means I'm growing. If this burns, it means I'm alive. If this is painful, it means I'm on the right path. And I kept going. That day I realized pain is not the enemy. It is proof you're moving toward greatness. People see the glory, the goals, the trophies, the celebrations. They see the joy, but never the pain that built it. They don't see the lonely nights, the sacrifices, the heartbreak, the injuries, the failures. They don't see the hours spent crying, the times when giving up felt easier. But I see them, I live them, and I transformed them into something greater. Pain gave me power. Without the suffering, without the struggle, without the heartbreak, I would not be who I am. So the next time you feel pain, don't ask why me. Ask, what is this teaching me? How can I use this? Because pain has a lesson hidden inside it. Pain is life's way of asking, do you really want this? Are you willing to pay the price? And if you answer yes, if you decide to turn pain into power, nothing can stop you. Pain is not there to destroy you. It's there to build you. It's not there to weaken you. It's there to strengthen you. Every tear you cry, every doubt you face, every failure you endure, it all adds weight to your soul. And when you choose to carry that weight instead of running from it, you become unstoppable. Remember this: champions are not made in comfort. They are made in pain. And those who can take that pain, hold it, and transform it into power, they are the ones who rise above all others. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Don't hate it. Use it. Turn your pain into power and let the world witness the strength it creates inside you. Sacrifice is the price not body sees, but is the one thing that separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. Everyone loves the idea of success, the cheers of the crowd, the trophies, the spotlight. But what most people don't understand is that all of that is built on invisible choices. The kind of decisions you make every single day when nobody is watching. Sacrifice is not glamorous. It doesn't come with applause. It doesn't trend on social media, but is the foundation of every great achievement. When I look back at my journey, it wasn't just talent or hard work that carried me forward. It was sacrifice. It was saying no when everyone else said yes. It was choosing to miss out on the fun, the parties, the easy pleasures of life, because I had a bigger vision that demanded more from me. While friends were celebrating late at night, I was sleeping early so I could wake up and train harder the next day. While others indulged in food and drinks without thinking twice, I disciplined myself to eat clean, to fuel my body like a machine. Those choices didn't make me popular at the moment, but they made me prepared when it mattered. There's a story I remember vividly. My teammates once invited me out after a big victory. Everyone was in a mood to celebrate, to enjoy the moment. And honestly, I wanted to go. I wanted to laugh, to relax, to enjoy what we had achieved. But I thought about tomorrow's training, about recovery, about how one night of fun could set me back. I chose to go home, to rest, to prepare. Nobody noticed that decision. Nobody clapped for it. Nobody wrote about it in the papers, but that invisible sacrifice gave me the edge when the next challenge came. Success is built in those hidden moments, in the sacrifices nobody applauds. Sacrifice also means living a life of discipline. When the world offers comfort, there were countless times I had to sit at a table where delicious food was in front of me, food that others were enjoying without care, and I had to say no. I had to eat what was right for my body, not what was tempting for my taste. People would laugh, call me too strict, too serious, but those same people would later ask me how I managed to stay at the top year after year. They never understood that sacrifice isn't punishment, it's preparation. The hardest sacrifices are not the obvious ones, they're the ones nobody will ever see. Waking up before sunrise to train when the world is still asleep. Spending hours on recovery while everyone else is relaxing. Choosing the gym over vacations. Choosing focus over distractions. Choosing long-term greatness over short-term pleasure. That's the reality of sacrifice. It feels lonely, it feels endless, and sometimes it feels unfair. But in the silence of those choices, a champion is born. Sacrifice also means giving up comfort. It's leaving your family at a young age to chase a dream. It's missing birthdays, celebrations, moments that others take for granted. People only see the trophies you lift, but they don't see the tears of the nights you spent alone, the hugs you missed, the memories you couldn't share. Those sacrifices cut deep, but they also shape you. They remind you that greatness always has a cost, and you must be willing to pay it if you truly want it. Many people dream of success, but few are willing to sacrifice for it. They want the outcome, but not the process. They want the spotlight, but not the shadow work. Sacrifice is the dividing line. It's what keeps the dreamers dreaming and turns the doers into achievers. And the truth is, sacrifice never ends. Even when you reach the top, even when you achieve what you once thought was impossible, you must keep sacrificing to stay there. Because the moment you choose comfort over sacrifice, someone else somewhere in the world is working harder, hungrier, and more willing to give up what you want. One of the greatest realizations in my journey is that success is not about what you gain, it's about what you're willing to give up. Every trophy, every medal, every record broken, they all have a price tag attached. That price is sleepless nights, aching muscles, lonely sacrifices, missed celebrations, and endless discipline. And while the world celebrates the rewards, only you truly know the cost you paid to achieve them. So ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice? Because sacrifice is not something extraordinary. It's a daily decision. It's a choice between sleeping in or waking up to train. It's a choice between indulging in pleasure or sticking to discipline. It's a choice between what feels good now and what will feel great later. And every small sacrifice builds into something massive, something unshakable, something the world will one day call greatness. At the end of the day, people will see the goals, the success, the trophies, the fame, but only you will know the truth that everything was built on the sacrifices nobody noticed. And when you stand at the top, when you achieve what others only dream about, you will realize it was worth it. Every sacrifice, every lonely night, every unseen choice, it was the price of greatness. And you paid it willingly. Before the crowd roars, before the cameras flash, before the headlines are written, the battle is already won in the mind. The visualization is the secret weapon most people ignore. It's the art of seeing victory long before it happens. It's walking onto the field with the confidence of someone who has already lived the moment 1,000 times in silence. People think success is luck or coincidence, but in reality, success is rehearsed, imagined, and created in the quiet space of the mind. From the earliest days of my journey, I learned the power of imagination. I wasn't just playing football, I was picturing myself on the grandest stages, scoring the biggest goals, lifting trophies that I didn't even own yet. I could see the jersey, the ball at my feet, the crowd chanting. I could feel the pressure, the weight of the moment, and the surge of adrenaline. When you visualize deeply enough, the mind cannot tell the difference. between imagination and reality. It starts to prepare the body, the emotions, and the soul to meet that moment with certainty. That is why when the real moment arrives, it feels familiar, almost natural. It doesn't feel like chance. It feels like destiny. There's a story I carry with me. I remember standing in front of the mirror as a young boy, pretending to hold trophies I didn't yet win, pretending to hear chants that didn't exist. To others, it may have looked foolish, like a child daydreaming. But to me, it was training. It was preparing my mind to believe so that one day my body could achieve. Long before the cameras caught me scoring goals, I had already scored them thousands of times in my head. Long before I celebrated in front of millions, I celebrated in silence, rehearsing what it would feel like. Those quiet rehearsals built a belief so strong that no amount of doubt from others could shake it. Visualization is not about fantasy. It's about clarity. It's about training your brain to recognize success when it comes. If you only see obstacles, if you only focus on fear, then that's exactly what your mind prepares you for. But when you see victory, when you picture yourself conquering challenges, your mind aligns with your body, and suddenly the impossible begins to feel possible. That's why visualization is not a game. It's a discipline. Just as you train the body in the gym, you must train the mind with vision. Think about walking into the biggest game of your life. The world is watching. The pressure is suffocating, and millions are expecting you to deliver. Many players crack under that weight because it feels new, it feels overwhelming. But if you've already visualized it, if you've already lived it in your mind 1,000 times, then it's no longer a surprise, it's just another repetition. The mind says, I know this place, I've been here before, I know how the story ends, and that belief is the greatest strength a champion can carry into any battle. Visualization also protects you from fear. Fear thrives on uncertainty, on the unknown. But when you've rehearsed victory, when you've pictured yourself rising after every fall, scoring after every miss, standing tall after every setback, fear loses its power, because fear cannot survive in a mind that has already seen itself win. Every time I stepped onto the pitch, I didn't wonder if I would succeed. I already knew the outcome. Not because it was guaranteed, but because I had prepared my mind so deeply that there was no room for doubt. And here's the truth. You don't need to be on a football pitch to use your visualization. Whatever your dream is, whether it's building a career, creating something new, or becoming the best in your field, you must see it in your mind before you can hold it in your hands. You must picture yourself standing on that stage, closing that deal, achieving that milestone. You must feel it, hear it, live it in your imagination until it becomes part of your reality. The stronger your vision, the stronger your belief. And the stronger your belief, the greater your actions. Most people wait for success to come before they believe in it. Champions believe first, and that belief attracts success. That's the power of visualization. It flips the order. You don't wait for proof, you create proof in your mind. And then you go out and make it real. So when people ask me why I walk onto the pitch with confidence, why I stand tall under pressure, why I perform in the moments when it matters most, the answer is simple. I've already been there. I've already seen myself succeed. I've already lived the victory before the world ever saw it. That is why it feels natural. That is why it looks effortless. Because the truth is, the mind scored the goal long before the body did. If you want to achieve greatness, don't just train your body, don't just sharpen your skills, train your vision, see it, believe it, live it in your mind until it feels like reality. And when the time comes, when the lights are on and the world is watching, you won't be stepping into the unknown. You'll be stepping into a moment you've already mastered. Greatness is not born in the spotlight. It is born in silence, in the visions that nobody else can see. And when your vision becomes unshakable, the world will call it destiny, but you will know it was your vision that made it real. See it before you live it before the world sees it. And when the moment comes, own it. That is the power of visualization. That is the path to greatness.